Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Do You Know Minecraft, the show where we learn interesting facts about the game, and this video we are doing yet another 25 secret changes in Minecraft 1.9. And just like last time, a secret isn't a secret if you know about it. I've picked out another 25 more obscure changes that may have gone unnoticed, so don't go ham if you don't consider some of these changes to be a secret. Just enjoy the video, refresh your Minecraft knowledge, and count how many of the 25 you didn't know about. Before we get into this video, I do want to make two amendments to the previous list of 25 changes. One of those is the Cauldron. You can take water out of it with a bucket, but because I was in creative mode, it appeared to not work correctly. In survival though, you'll see that the bucket on my hotbar fills up and we can empty it again back into the cauldron. The other thing that I am wearing right now is the Frostwalker boots that have level 100. A lot of you pointed out that they actually put a cap on this, so the maximum range is 16. So it doesn't really matter that I've got level 100. It's not going to go any further than 16 blocks. That is the maximum radius. As you can see here, roughly about 16 blocks to the edge there. If you've been following my snapshot update videos, then this will come as no surprise to you, but first on our list is the secret identity of the snow golem. You can now shear the pumpkin off of them. And look at that derpy little face right there. So all you need is some shears, just go up to them, right click on them, and the pumpkin will be removed. Of course, if you're in survival, you don't actually get the pumpkin. It doesn't drop on the ground, and that might be considered a bug. If you play survival Minecraft in a 1.9 world, this might become a familiar sight in your spawn chunks. Lots of skeleton horses roaming around, and that might sound a little bit strange, but I can explain exactly why this happens. First of all, a thunderstorm happens in your world and the spawn chunks are loaded, which means the chances of these guys spawning with the skeletons on top of them is pretty common, considering your world could be on for long amounts of time. So these guys spawn inside the spawn chunks because of course the thunderstorm is happening there as well as where you are, and then the weather clears, and that means that these guys, their helmets are steadily taking damage, and once they've taken damage and broken, these skeletons are then going to be set on fire. When it's daytime, they're going to die, and you're going to be left with loads of skeleton horses which don't despawn inside of your spawn chunks. So the Picblock Mechanic was something that we first saw in creative mode. That's where you use your middle mouse button, and then we saw it in 1.8 survival. You could middle click, say, grass for example, and then it would put it in your hand. But now in 1.9 you can do this on things that aren't in your hotbar. So we middle click this, and out of nowhere appears some oak wood, and that's because it was actually in my inventory. So this is a new 1.9 feature that you may have not known about. So in 1.9, iron golems now have full knockback resistance. When I punch this guy, he doesn't even move, he just stays in the same spot because he has that knockback resistance. Now I've got a sword here with knockback 2 on it, and again you're going to see that it makes no difference. This guy just isn't affected by knockback at all anymore. This next one might seem a little bit strange because I'm telling you about something that doesn't work, and it did work in the snapshots, and then at some point they must have reverted it. I thought it was a great change. Of course, Frostwalker is really great for getting across water, and it used to work when you're on a horse. So we can see the ice at the moment. However, no new ice is forming. They have actually at some point removed that feature, which I think is a real shame. You used to be able to blitz across the water on a horse if you had Frostwalker on. Like in the last one we did, I showed you that mobs were unable to spawn on rails. We're going to do the same thing again, this time with pressure plates. You can see we're using a super flat world to create one with stone pressure plates across the top. So it's night time, no mobs are spawning, but of course we're only testing stone pressure plates at the moment, and there are 4 different types of pressure plate. Now they're all probably going to work the same, but we'll of course MC edit them and just double check. So all 4 types of pressure plate in the world, no signs of mob spawning. I have been flying around. Of course now I'm going to remove a large segment of this, and we're going to see some mobs spawning through the middle of it. And there we have it. As soon as the world spawns, you've got mobs just about everywhere, and that should be good proof that they don't spawn on pressure plates in 1.9, which is going to annoy a lot of people who have mob farms, of course. So the Ender Dragon mob head is something that you can get in survival Minecraft. You can find it in the End City dungeons, and if you put one of these down on the ground, power it with redstone, it's going to animate the mouth, which is pretty cool. So ocelots and bats are known for being scared of the player. If you're in creative mode in 1.9 though, they won't run away when you place them down. So here you can see we've got a couple of ocelots and they're not running away from us. The same goes for bats as well, which means you can sort of observe them when they're in their upside down state like this. However, if you're to injure one of the bats, then it's going to try and fly away. However, with the Ocelots, they generally stay put after you hit them, which is a little bit strange. So our bony friends, the skeletons here, have got some swords, and you may notice that they're holding it in their left hand, and that's because there is a 5% chance for mobs to be left-handed in 1.9. Now, something interesting I want to point out here is that one of them is actually not left-handed. Can you guess which one it is? Well, it's the one that was spawned by this command block, because if we have a look here, left-handed is set to false, and I put the item in their offhand, because of course they can hold items in either hand and dual wield like the player can. So if we have a look at the other one, you'll see that it's left-handed, but the stone sword is in its primary slot. So you were probably aware that zombie villagers got new skins in 1.9, but did you know that the baby zombies got them too? These once cute and adorable things now look pretty terrifying in my opinion, but you can see they got the skins of their adults. The game used to have built-in support for what you could call shaders. Inside the options menu there used to be a super secret settings in 1.8, and that's been completely removed, as well as streaming integration for Twitch. Twitch is a platform for streaming the game, and if you played the previous update you used to be able to stream directly from your game. Unfortunately, these two features have been completely removed, and I have no idea for the reasons why. So have a look around. You may notice there are some larger than usual trees. These are the sorts that you can grow with saplings and bone meal. However, they'll now generate naturally in your world as part of the terrain generation. This is a feature for 1.9. For those of you that have been playing for it for a long time, you may be thinking that's normal. Well, this has actually been missing for a few updates as it caused some issues, which have finally been resolved, and so now you'll find these naturally generating in the world. So this just might look very odd, because the trapdoor appears to be floating. It's not actually attached to this block. In 1.9 they changed it so that trapdoors can literally float. Once placed, they do not need to be attached to a block, and you can adjust them like so. Now this is a strange little feature, however it has been confirmed by Mojang that this is intended behaviour, so floating trapdoors are now a thing in 1.9. If you look to the top right of the screen you can see we've got the levitation effect, yet we're not floating upwards. And if we try and jump, nothing happens. If we walk off the edge in this direction, we actually just stay at the exact same height. I hold down shift, nothing happens. If I press spacebar, nothing happens. This is levitation effect 255. If you didn't know, levitation 1 to 127 will send you upwards, and then 128 to 254 will send you downwards, so you'll levitate downwards. But if you put it at 255, you actually just stay at the same height permanently, and you can't change it. There is a new type of biome in 1.9. It's not one you'll get in a regular world though. You'll need to generate a flat world with the preset The Void down the bottom here. This is what the Void preset world looks like, and if we press F3 and have a look at the left you can see it says Biome The Void there, so that is the new type of biome. And in this one, no passive mobs or hostile mobs will spawn, which will make it great for a test world environment. As well as that, the grass and water have the default colours. And also the weather here is like in a desert. If it rains, the sky will darken. However, you won't see any rain droplets coming down at all. And last of all, the snow golem can take damage in particular biomes, and in the void, it doesn't take any damage at all. So there's nothing quite like fighting 4 withers at once, or 64 if you're mad like we at the Hermitcraft community are. That's something you can search, Hermitcraft 64 wither fight, but for now I want to show you the change in 1.9. Multiple wither bars on your screen. That works with both bosses. If we were in the end, we'd also see the end dragon as well. But a pretty cool feature, one that was hinted about a long time ago. So villagers have a set group of trades at varying prices, and one of the cleric's trades has been changed. If we go through, you can see that for 6 emeralds we get a ender pearl, and this used to be an eye of ender, which meant there was a way to get to the end without visiting the nether. So that's been corrected, meaning that you have to go to the nether to get your blaze powder to mix with your ender pearls to get your eye of enders. It's now possible to get cobwebs with shears. As you can see, it now drops. You might be thinking, hey, this worked in 1.8, what are you on about? Well, you could only do it with silk touch on your shears, and now you don't require any enchantment, just regular old shears will get you cobwebs. Here's a little change you're probably not likely to notice. If you're flying around in spectator mode, you can see what biome you are in on the left hand side. However, once you go down below bedrock, you can see it just says outside of world, and this is the same of when you go above the build height. For those of you that have been playing this game for a long time, this is going to sound pretty nostalgic. Yes, that is the old portal sound, and it was actually due to a bug that it didn't play for the longest time, and finally in 1.9 they've got around to fixing it, and the sound plays when you go through a portal again. In 1.9 the hoe now takes damage when you attack another entity, and of course this wasn't the case in 1.8, it wouldn't take any durability damage, but part of 1.9 was rebalancing all of the weapons, and the hoe has a fast attack speed yet low amounts of damage, and because of that it will now take durability damage when attacking an entity. This next fact involves the skeleton. It also works with creepers and zombies as well. We're going to summon a skeleton in the middle of this crude testing area. Now, as I was setting it up, I realized that, of course, the range of a mob is spherical or circular. It's not going to be a square shape like this, but this is the 8 block range, and over here is the 16 block range. So we'll summon in a skeleton from 16 blocks away. He can't see us. As soon as we move into the range, this guy's going to pick us up, and before long he's going to shoot us, unless he's a bad shot like that guy. Now what we're going to do is put a skeleton skull on our heads, and then we're going to summon in another one. Now we can move around in this area, and that's because he thinks he sees us and he thinks that we're a skeleton, but as soon as we move inside the 8 block range, he's then going to smell us and realise, oh wait a minute, that's actually a player. So a cool little trick right there. These are of course obtainable in survival mode. A charge creeper blowing up a skeleton will drop a skeleton skull, and if you wear it you're allowed to get a little bit closer to the skeletons. In 1.9 you can use ender pearls in creative, and you can see there on the hotbar there's also a cooldown timer as well, so this stops you from spamming them. However, you can still throw a fair few before one lands. In the 1.9 achievement screen it now says eat a notch apple, and that's because they're no longer craftable in 1.9. You're going to have to find one in a dungeon chest, and that's the only way to get that achievement. So if you watched the first 25 secret changes in 1.9 video, you may have been wondering what is the furthest distance that you can fall, because of course hay bales are going to take 80% of the damage. They're all the way up at world limit, and we fall all the way down here with half a heart. That is 192 blocks, and that's possible because of the hay bales and feather falling 4, but that is the largest distance you can fall in 1.9, 192 blocks. So that's it from me this episode of Do You Know Minecraft. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like on the video, and if you haven't seen the first part of our 25 secret changes, then check that out, link on the screen and in the description box, and of course subscribe for more Do You Know Minecraft. But that's it from me this video. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.